You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
Welcome back to the Betoota Advocate News Bulletin. You're joined today by editor, myself, Clancy Overall, editor-at-large, Errol Parker. How are you, Errol?
Very good as always.
And, of course, the young fella, Wendell Hussey. How are you, mate?
Doing well, alive and healthy.
That's great to hear, considering everything. Anyway, this week's show is brought to you by Ben Elton's new stand-up comedy tour. It's the guy who looks like John Oliver, but has done far more than just rant to camera for his entire career. He's done Mr. Bean, The Young Ones, Blackadder, and plenty more. He'll be hitting the stage in all the big cities during the end of April and beginning of May. So head to livenation.com.au to snag yourself some tickets if that's your thing. It certainly is my thing. I wonder if I can get there. Anyway, first up today, Wendell, what's going on in the news?
Coronavirus. Clancy is understandably the story of the week. We'll kick off there with an exclusive report. That was, coronavirus apparently causing people to shit more than usual.
Yes, panic buying was in full swing this week. This comes as Woolworths applies a 4-pack limit to purchases of Gunner Wrap as the virus prepping empties supermarket shelves of household staples.
Yes, it's weird because there is very little evidence that the COVID-19 causes people to shit more than usual. In fact, the digestive system is one of the few bodily functions that appears to be least affected by this disease because it is a respiratory illness.
Yeah, there were lots of people about town. They were also stocking up on pasta and breads, rice. I think the last thing that they'd need after eating all of that would be toilet paper because that stuff would block you up like
block a roach.
Like an errant bottle of piss left on the platform of a train station down in Sydney. It would send the whole network into complete bedlam.
And there were some comments on that article, actually. A few of the readers went viral. Simon Laidler said, just help yourself to the free Murdoch papers found at various public venues and cafes. That's all they're useful for. Wowee, Simon. Love a bit of Antifa in the comments. Good on you.
And Andrea McIlduff dropped another comment saying, even if you're cooped up at home for a month with COVID-19, how much loo paper are you going to need? Even at 2 rolls a week, you're not going to need 4 times 24 packs. What the hell is going on?
Fair point.
Now, breaking up the coronavirus stories that we've got here, and we broke a nice little human interest story down in Sydney. That one was about a drought-stricken farmer who went for a dip in his $10 million local pool underneath the Harbour Bridge.
Yes, in case you missed this story, this comes after the government awarded $10 million worth of upgrades to a North Sydney pool, that one that's right under the Harbour Bridge, which the Mayor of North Sydney said was definitely a regional facility.
Well, you know, if it is a true regional pool, it needs a 10-metre board that local townies can do quadruple backflips off. It certainly doesn't have one of them. Anyway, one esteemed member of the North Shore beef industry, Darcy McAngus, says he's very thankful the pool got some funding under the sports rort scandal, and it's always a great pleasure popping in for a dip when times are tough on the land. He runs a cattle station in Kirribilli, I believe.
Yeah, got a few acres out there. In some local news now, and we wrote a story about a young man beginning his character reinvention this week. Saul Goodman laughs law student who just spewed through his nose into uni bar toilet.
Yeah, didn't really get this one, mate. It must be a story covered by a youth reporter.
Yes, well, the thing is, Errol, and I learnt this from my daughter when she was at university back in 2008 before Gillard deregulated. I believe they get these cheap drinks at their university bars and they get loose because they've just met each other on O Week and usually end up vomiting because it's usually made of goon and pineapple juice, which is a great concoction if you're that skint.
Yeah, I believe that's what destroyed Darren Hinch's first liver.
The goon and pineapple juice.
Yep. With a dash of cordial as well.
All goon sunrise. Yes, this young fella's almost certainly there, and he is studying law, so he imagines himself to be quite a Saul Goodman. He told us that he was going to be so hungover after that spew that he'd be curled up all day on the couch with some pad thai and the new season of Better Call Saul, which is out now only on Stan.
Moving back into coronavirus news, and husband alarmingly unfazed about toilet paper shortage.
Yes, you're an expert at this, Clance. You are the unabridged king of the shit shower.
I believe it's called the bum gun is the term. Easier with a detractable head of the shower. And yeah, that does more than any quilting or whatever ply could do. But yes, there's been a sharp uptick in waffle stomping around the country. It can be revealed today. Toilet paper at a premium. Plenty of husbands and men of the house have been timing their runs this week with shower time. Understandably, there were a lot of disgusting comments on that one, which we won't read, so we'll wrap up. One last coronavirus story for the week, and that was...
Woman who spent weekends sniffing coke off nightclub toilet cistern not too keen on Chinatown.
I'm just playing it safe, says Tara, a local paralegal who is currently intermittently fasting on her 5th coffee for the morning. Yes, the young woman who spent last Saturday night snorting lines of cocaine given to her by a married real estate agent who wouldn't give her his real name off a damp toilet cistern at a dodgy nightclub in the Old City District said she's not too keen on going to Chinatown for lunch as it is pretty high risk with this whole coronavirus thing.
I think I also had a line of that married real estate agent's coke that night, and I tell you what, it is much dirtier than any street I've ever walked down in Chinatown. So I'd say that this young lady's fears are quite unfounded.
Yes, given the standard of recreational drugs getting around our real estate and advertising industries in Betoota.
And of course, journalism.
And journalism, of course, more down, lower down the ranks towards Wendell, kind of his level. That's where you'll see most of the drug abuse happening. Am I right, Wendell?
Well, not so much cocaine as a cadet at a regional newspaper. That stuff's pretty expensive.
Oh, he's whinging about his salary again.
No, well, I have seen many occasions where Wendell has come in of a Monday morning still deep within a very unpleasant-looking K-hole, and he's trying to type with his closed fists on his little keyboard, and it's disgraceful and it's embarrassing sometimes.
Given that I've been handed my second Section 10, I'll ask for this to be edited out of the podcast, please.
Oh, we'll see how we go. Anyway, I would say the drugs that you and your cohort use, Wendell, are much dirtier than even the dirtiest street in Wuhan. So I guess you could say the Chinatown hysteria is pretty high, and if you're not ordering bat soup, don't worry about it.
On that note, that will probably wrap up the podcast for this week, I think. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Until next week, stay safe, stay sanitized, and we'll talk to you again then. I'm Wendell Hussey.
I'm Clancy Overall. Wash your hands, you grubs.
And I'm Errol Parker. Chuck your Lara.